Hi, this is Barbie, and this is episode number 5 of the Real Talk podcast. Guess what? It was my birthday this week, and I turned 45. I'm now in chapter 45 of this crazy life, and I'm going to make it the best year yet. I think that for the first half of our lives, we collect lessons and things along the way, and then what really matters is what we do with it all in that second part. For me, I'm going to talk about it and share, because like I tell you about in this episode, I'm pretty sure my calling is to never be a football quarterback, but using my voice and making you feel like you matter too, and that your dreams are important is what I'm meant to do. So let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. You're listening to the Real Talk podcast, a place for you to come and learn things about the real stuff that you're going through. Not the bright, shiny stuff we see on everyone's feeds, but the gritty, messy parts in the middle that need to be heard to heal. You matter here, and you're not alone. I care about leveling up and helping you do the same. Whatever leveling up means to you, whether that's in business, performance, or parenting. Let's get started. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Every day I think about something that I want to share that I'm learning because yesterday was my 45th birthday. So this is chapter number 45 in my life, and I'm very excited to make it the best year ever. And I like to connect things to stories. So if there's things in our life that we're trying to learn or stumbling a little bit or feeling blocked, I think it's important to connect it to something that we can relate to. And I really try to get to the gym most mornings around 6. And today I was thinking while I was doing it that it's really important to get the hard stuff out of the way first. That's why I go at 6. I mean, it's not like I jump out of bed in the morning and think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to the gym. But I like the result of how I feel after the gym. So we have to do the hard work first. And I think that at this point in my life, I've realized the first half of our life is about learning all the hard lessons. And then the second half is deciding what we're going to do with those lessons and what we've learned. Because when we're in high school, we think that that's all that matters. All that matters is, who the popular ones are and what our hair looks like and whether we're using the best mascara. And then you get to the next phase and you realize that didn't matter. It just was a stepping stone to get to the next one. And just a note on that. If you really sit back and think, sometimes when you run into the people who you thought were top of the totem pole in high school, just do a little analysis on that. And of course, I'm not judging anybody. But what I'm saying is when you're in high school, those people may think like they got it all figured out. Fast forward 20 years, you know who has it figured out? The ones who are staying in their lane, doing the work, being smart, getting better at something, always being kind, reaching out, saying to somebody, hey, we're going here tonight. You want to join us? Those are the people that went far, not the ones who stood in their ivory tower and judged everybody and expected everybody to do everything for them. Those aren't the ones that got everywhere or anywhere in their chapter 45 of life. I guarantee it. So if you are in high school and you're listening to this, make sure you're one of those people that reaches out, especially if you're one that's popular and you're at the top of the totem pole. You have even more responsibility to have that power to include people. Be that person that brings people up with you. That is really something that's important if you're in high school and you carry that along the way with you. That in chapter 45 of my life, I really want to try to bring the lessons that we're learning forward. And sometimes we need to connect it with something that we can kind of relate to. Because life is freaking overwhelming. There is a lot going on. There's a lot going on in our world. There's a lot going on in our lives. There's a lot going on in other people's lives that is always in our face because we're always on our stupid phones. And when I'm at the gym, I really think about how the things that happen in that place when I show up at 6 a.m. really mirror a lot of things in life. And one of the biggest ones is you just need to show up. Getting out of bed at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning is 0 on the top of the list of things I want to do ever. I don't even think I could count on one hand ever the amount of times that I was like, so glad to get up this early. But that taking the first step and literally crawling sometimes to the bathroom and getting up and getting into the gym clothes is the most important part. Because once you get out the door, fine, you totally are. You know you are. So sometimes we just need to be that adult that's like forcing ourselves really to say, hey, just take that first step. Even if you don't feel like going on that run tomorrow, just maybe we'll walk today. Then once you start walking, you're going to start doing it. But it's just that first step. And I'm telling you, sometimes when I know it's going to be a morning, I've slept in the gym clothes to make sure that you can just get up and go. I'm not even joking. So whatever's going to work for you, you can lie the gym clothes out, get them all ready. Same thing for work in the morning, packing your lunch the night before. It's going to make your day better. You know it is. But it's just that first little step. So when I'm at the gym, I look around and I think, hey, these people are the ones that have taken that first step. They're just here. It doesn't matter if you only take a little bit of an effort that day or you're giving it 100%. A little bit is better than nothing. And I am telling you, there is not a day that I've ever regretted going. 100%. Well, okay, let's be fair, maybe 90%. Some days I just don't want to go. And you're like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't go today. But most of the days, you're going to regret not going. It's the same thing as taking an opportunity that's right in front of you. You're never going to know if you don't say yes. You're never going to know if that opportunity is the next best thing. It might not be, but you never are going to know if you don't try. So if somebody says to you, hey, I have this great opportunity, or I have this great club I've joined and I thought you might be interested in joining it with me. There's a reason for that. Things don't just fall out of the sky. Somebody doesn't say to you, hey, I'd like you to join this bird house making club with me. And you've always had in the back of your mind that you really would love to learn how to build bird houses. And they say to you, hey, I'd love for you to join this bird house club with me. And if you're scared and you're like, oh, I don't really know, like, who's going to be there? Like, what am I going to wear? Like, how am I going to do it? Like, I don't know. Should I be spending like, say yes. Say yes to that opportunity. Because there's two things that are going to happen. You're either going to go, you're going to love it, you're going to meet a new person, it's going to be the best experience of your life, or you're going to go and you're going to say, this wasn't for me. Maybe birdhouses aren't for me. I'm glad that I didn't spend my entire life building birdhouses. This isn't for me. Chalk it up, move on to the next thing. Maybe now you're going to build dog houses. I don't know. And I have no idea why birdhouses keep coming into my mind when I'm doing these podcasts, but they do. It's a random thing. And just the point is, you want to say yes. Things don't just come into your orbit in the universe for no reason. Nobody has ever come in front of me and said, hey, Barb, I think we should join this football club. And I think that you'd be like really good at it. And we'd love to have you as a part. Most likely because football is not in my orbit. It is not in my universe. It is not something that is on my path. And I'm pretty sure it's not for my highest good. I do have, however, people coming into my orbit saying, hey, you know what, Barb, we'd love for you to speak on our podcast. We'd love for you to join our mastermind. And the reason is because those things are in my universe, in my orbit. Some things I say yes to, some things I don't. I really sit down and I think, hey, is this aligned with where I want to be going? And if they are, I give it a shot. A lot of them don't work out. That's fine. But I never know if I don't try. So the gym is one thing that is just a small example of something that is available to all of us. Anybody can get up at 6 a.m., go for a walk around the block. It doesn't matter your financial status. It doesn't matter what health you're in. It doesn't matter what step you're starting on. If you're not in optimum health or you're super overwhelmed and you have 50 pounds to lose and you don't know where to start, I mean, trust me, I've been there. But I'll tell you, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't start. You're going to be in the same place you were yesterday if you don't just lace up those shoes. I don't care if those shoes are 1,000 years old. They don't need to be the brand spanking new ones. You don't need new gear. You don't need anything. All you need is to show up. Because what matters is you. Your gift, your light always matters in every room that you walk into, if it's the right room. Another thing that I realized today at the gym is some gyms are different than other gyms. So I did CrossFit a long time ago, met a lot of friends. It was great. Move on. Now I'm living a lot in a different city back and forth. So I needed to find something that kind of suited that. Different gyms have different dynamics. If you're in a gym where people are walking around All they're doing is talking. We've all been to places like this. Talk, talk, talk. They're there for the social. They're all about talking about what they can do or what they have done in the past. That's great. You're not going to get anywhere being somewhere like that. It's the same in life. Talk doesn't matter. If there's a 50-foot dumbbell in front of me and somebody comes up to me and they're talking all about how they used to lift the 50-pound dumbbell, that's cool. I'm happy for you. That doesn't mean you can still do it today. Or if they're talking and saying, I can lift that dumbbell, I totally can. Like, I'm better than you. Like, prove it. Actions matter. So if you're in a gym where people are walking around, talking the talk and not walking the walk, go somewhere else. It's the same thing in life. If you don't walk through the door and you feel like those people are aligned with your purpose and where you want to be, find a different room. This is a big, big planet. We have lots of opportunities in this stage in our life, which is any stage actually that you're in, now that I think of it, to change your environment. There's a lot of things we can't change. Of course, if you're a parent, we have kids, we have responsibilities. Yes, you need to have a job. Yes, you need to pay your bills. But you also, if you're in an environment or something that you can't physically get out of, what you can do is working on changing your mindset. If you're in a job or a place and you're like, hey, I just have to grind for 2 more years so that I can get to the next step or whatever, you can change your mindset. You're choosing to be there. You're choosing to do that. You're going to enjoy the parts you can enjoy until you get to the next step. Same thing at the gym. I hate cardio. I hate every single second of it. For all I've tried. I've tried to be one of those people who just loves the running. I hate the running. I hate it, but I know that it gets me to a result that I will want. My health will be better. My mood will be better. My mindset will be better. So every single time I'm doing cardio, in my head, I focus on the end result and how I'm going to feel. I don't focus on how bad and how much I hate it in the moment. Sometimes in my head, literally, it is the worst thing ever. And I think, I hate this. I hate this. I literally say this in my head. I hate this. I hate this. I don't think that that's a positive affirmation tape or recording that I'm going to sell one day, but it is the truth. Sometimes you just have to do the things that you hate, but you have to just get it done so that you get to the result that you want. That's how it is. You change your mindset. So here I am. I'm not saying I'm any mindset guru. In the second half of my life, and I hope I get another 45 years, all I want to do is share with you things that I connect from life. There's hard stuff. There's hard days and weeks and stuff where we don't know if we're going to be able to get through it. But guess what? Every single day, whether it's been a hard day or an easy day, until this day in your life, you figured it out. You got up and you did it. Some days, you probably didn't do a great job, but you still made it through. And you're going to make it through to the next thing. But it makes it a lot better if we take the lessons that we've learned in the past, sit down and have a really hard talk with ourselves and say, hey, listen, we need to do the hard things. It's just like parenting. We got to parent ourselves. You got to do the hard things first. You don't get the rewards unless you do the hard work. And the hard work sucks. You can't get to where you want to go thinking that it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Nobody that we look up to that has the big goals or the big promotion or the big career or the big social media following got there by not doing hard work in some way. And even if it appears that someone kind of falls into it, I guarantee that they lifted that 25-pound dumbbell in some way. I do understand that some of us have a little bit more of a head start than others. I get that. That is a factor. But wherever you are in life, that's your reality. You're there. So the sooner that you accept that and you say, hey, I might not have all the other things that other people have, guess what? You probably, most likely, if you're listening to this podcast, have a lot more than a lot of other people do. So get out of that comparison mindset. Accept the fact you are what you are. You are where you are with what you have. You have the body you have the mindset you have, There's no way that if you are a dark-haired brunette, super beautiful olive skin, that you're ever going to have hair like Jennifer Aniston. That is not something you can focus on. That you can say all the positive affirmations you want, get up and will that to happen. It's never going to happen. So unless you shave your head and you get a wig and you fake it, it's never going to happen. The best way is to accept where you are, bring your gifts and your beautiful hair into the area, the rooms that you belong in. So find those. Get up, start with the hard stuff first. Lace up your runners, go dig them out from the bottom of the closet, and just take that first step. It's spring now, it's almost summer solstice, and it's the perfect time for a renewal. It's a perfect time to turn a fresh new outlook on what your goals are. Your goals are in your mind for a reason. They did not land there if you don't have a calling or a reason to have them. Like I said, I have no goal, zero, to be a football quarterback. That is not in my orbit, never will be. I would be very, very bad at that. But what is in my orbit and my desires every morning, I think, I want to share this thought that I had, this random thing that came into my mind. I want to share that because that might help somebody else lace up their shoes and get going today. And that's a calling that I have. So to me, taking those small little steps, recording these shows on voice memo in my car on my phone, they don't sound perfect. I don't have a big podcast set up yet. I will, but what matters, and I'm trying to make sure that I talk the talk and walk the walk for you, is that I'm willing to make those small little steps to make the big dream happen. And you can do the same thing. If your dream is to build those birdhouses, just get out there and start doing it. Don't talk about it. Don't read about it. I know you've read 10 books about it. We can read all the books we want. You need to start. You need to be brave, and you need to get out there and start building those birdhouses. Lace up your runners and get it done. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is something that is a big dream for me. And if you've made it to the end of this show, I really appreciate you. This was not a show that I thought about in advance or scripted or anything like that. This is just something where I turned it on and I said, hey, I'm just going to give it a shot. I haven't put an episode out for a while and I've really been letting myself down, and I'm just going to do it today. So if you've made it this far, I really, really appreciate you, because this is something where I want to show you we can do it together. Every little step counts, and you can do it too. Let's do it. Have a wonderful day. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for listening to the Real Talk podcast with Barbie. This is the place for you to come and learn things about the real stuff that we're all going through. Make sure you check out the show notes, links to social media, and information on any guests that we had on the show. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you came.